Testing. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me now. It was like my streaming software's like input device was wrong. You guys should be able to hear me now. Hell yeah, man. Man, I was just talking about how like I've worked so hard all year to get to this point where I can live stream big fatty trades. Like the name of this live is 300k Bitcoin long, baby. We're doing it. So like I'm not just like, my stream titles are gonna be fatty trades now. And so I'm super hyped for that, man. It took me a while, man. It took me a while to get my Paloo ID, to build, you know, my strategy to a point where I could trust it, to build my trading account up. I didn't want to just start, you know, I didn't want to just flop in with everything I had and just risk it. You know, like I've definitely been playing it safe, doing things methodical and step by step. And so it's taken me half the year to get to this point, but man, I'm so excited we're here because now I've got a couple months of successful trades with my strategy under my belt, and it's just going like really textbook. Like the strategy is that I just leapfrog from month to month. So like I'll show you on a fresh Bitcoin chart my idea like that I used to get into this long. We just go to the first day of every month and we go to this free indicator on TradingView. It's called the anchored VWAP tool here on the left. And so you click anchored VWAP and you just anchor these VWAPs on the starts of months or the starts of weeks, but I like to do the starts of months. And so last month I had a really banger trade. My trading account size was not even close to like as big as I could have made it. And so this trade could have been bigger, but I did catch the short from the June anchor down to the May anchor. So the strategy is basically like once a new month forms, the price tends to backtrack back to the previous month's AVWAP, whether it's a long or a short. Sometimes there's a little bit of delay on it. Like obviously we get the 1st of June here and we did come up a bit, right? But then we quickly came down and we went down to that May anchor. And so, you know, that was the June down to the May anchor play. But if you go a month back on that, like let's say we slap an AVWAP on April, you can see like when May started, the first thing May did was pump straight up to that April AVWAP. And I back tested this and it goes back quite a ways and the win rate is pretty darn high. So, you know, and look what's going on with these VWAPs here. Basically all of the last few previous months VWAPs are conjoining at this like one level right here. And so this is the basis of my swing long. So you place a fresh anchor on the 1st of July, right? Let's see. Right on the 1st of July there. And let's see, 1st of July. Yeah, right there. So the idea is that this is going to play up to the previous month's anchor. So like this June anchor, which I will make yellow. The idea in my head is that we're just going to go up to that yellow line and then I'm going to exit my trade. And so it's a pretty simple strategy. Like you just go back and forth between the monthly VWAPs and it's like a once a month thing and you hit the market hard and then you can pretty much relax for the rest of the month. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to play out, but it's a nice comfy strategy, man. Obviously you want to wait for a good wave reading. Yeah, how's the chat doing? How we doing in the chat? Good to see you guys in. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back, but I definitely was enjoying my vacation. Man, okay, so this is like what I got going on right now, guys. I made this like custom Mike Perry shirt, Unleash Hell on Your Trades. I'm gonna be in Tampa, Florida. I'm going back to Florida on July 20th for this big fight that Mike Perry's gonna be in. He's fighting Jake Paul. So this is like history in the making. This is like Mike Perry endgame. Like this is a goal Mike Perry's had for years to face Jake Paul and like do this fight. When we first started working with Mike, he wasn't even in BKFC. He wasn't even doing bare knuckle fights. And so we really bought the bottom on Mike Perry, man. And like he's been pumping ever since we invested in him. So, and also Mike Perry is just a great friend of ours. Like I trained with him back in March, and like he took the time to like teach me how to box, and like he's more than just like a business partner. Like he's like our friend, man. Like I really consider Mike a good mentored friend. Here he is, like with me and him, like in the ring at his gym in Orlando, wearing Market Cipher shirts, doing a face off and having a good time, man. This is a funny ass time, man. You guys got to watch this video on my channel. It's called "I Got My Ass Kicked by Platinum Mike Perry." And yeah, so I made this cool shirt. This dude at my gym, it's a local connect, so it's someone that I know. The kid works hard. He got this website up for me in like 2 days, and it's a really nice design that he got for me. So I made a little
If you don't have Market Cipher, you don't know what you're missing. But now you know. You're missing life-changing opportunity, confidence, vision.
Yeah, so I just made like, you know, some little ad videos. If you guys could go to that Instagram post and pump it up and just put some likes. Oh, I made a longer video too. I mean, let's watch this one too.
If you don't have Market Cipher, you don't know what you're missing. But now you know. You're missing life-changing opportunity, confidence, vision.
I'ma buy low, then I'ma sell high. Bloody red Ferrari when you see me fly by. My brokers think I'm crazy cause I'm taking all these chances. Chances, 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 chances. I'ma buy low, then I'ma sell high. Bloody red Ferrari when you see me fly by. Brokers think I'm crazy cause I'm taking all these chances. Chances, 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 chances.
If you
Yeah, so if you guys could go to my IG and just like pump this up for me. And then if you are interested in a shirt, make sure you use code PLATINUM. It's 25 bucks off. And I tried one of these shirts on. It's like really high quality, like 100% cotton. Nice. It feels like a heavy shirt that you would want to like lift in. Maybe get like a one size up and like go to the gym in it or something. But it's also a design that'll look better the more washed out it gets. But he told me it doesn't wash out, like it'll retain the design for a long time. So yeah, if you guys want to support me, Mike Perry, Market Cipher, and all this whole weird boxing trading journey that we've been on the last couple years, definitely scoop one of these shirts here. So as for the trading, so I actually have taken some profit on the trade. So as you guys can see, the position, it's not 300K, it's 275K because I've closed out 25,000 contracts. And the reason why is we hit a pretty like kind of stiff resistance. So let me go to my big VWAP chart here. So this poop line, the brown line here, is really significant. If we trace this back, this is a VWAP placed at the year-to-date low. So the lowest point of the year, which was January 24th. I slapped a VWAP on that, and this is basically the idea that this is basically like the up only idea. This is like the people who bought Bitcoin down here, they are now the ones right now holding the market down, but we're looking for the poop line to become support, right? And so obviously if you're under a sideways VWAP as big and important as this is the year-to-date low VWAP. This is just as important as the year-to-date high VWAP. That would be like this orange one up here, placed at the highest point of the year. And so you could argue that like the poop line and the orange line represent kind of like the core of the trading range, right? From a yearly standpoint, you have those VWAPs placed at the lowest point of the year, highest point of the year. It would make sense that the price would want to converge and find safety within those two. So I'm really looking for the poop line to flip into support, but I had to take some profit up at these highs. So I closed like almost 10% of the trade up here. I'm glad I did. I didn't re-enter or anything because I was honestly not really sure about these signs, man. Like like you see, we kind of tweezer topped right here, and the waves came down on the 1 hour. And so I didn't want to just re-enter yet. I wanted to save some ammo in the barrel in case like something weird happened, like we had to retest the year to date or something. So this purple line down here, this VWAP is the year to date VWAP. So this is a VWAP placed at the first of the year on January 1, right before we got the ETFs and everything. And so this purple line represents like how we were feeling at the start of the year, right? Like Bitcoin's gonna have an amazing year. We got the halvening, we got ETFs, election season, all this cool stuff coming for crypto. Like how could Bitcoin not have a good year? And so that's what this purple line represents. And so if we dump down to this line and I see panic, which we saw panic down at these prices, crypto Twitter was freaking out. And so, you know, I see higher lows and it was like, you guys see my entry, like I got in like right here, the little green dotted line. I saw that we had pumped up over that year-to-date VWAP, and that was the strength above the VWAP that I wanted to see to enter the swing long. I didn't enter the swing long back here, or up here, or up here, or up here, and that's not luck. I was purposefully waiting for us to get closer to July 1st, because what I noticed is that the volatility doesn't really happen until like that new monthly candle forms and it's like a new narrative or like a new opportunity begins. So if you guys have any other questions about like how I entered the trade or anything about the trade, feel free to ask. But I wanted to update you guys because it's a special opportunity. It's like a once a month thing. You know, you get these big gaps from you know, month to month. And so once this gap fills, which I'm fairly confident that it will, what even will it go up to? So the June anchor is this blue anchor at 66,127. So I guess that's my target, is about 66k, but realistically I'll probably start phasing out of this trade. Like once we start hitting 65, it gets a little iffy, right? Because the price doesn't have to go to a VWAP. It could be rejected before it even hits a VWAP. So I'm going to be looking to start getting out of this trade like majorly once we get over like possibly even like this yellow line is a VWAP I placed on the day I started my push-up challenge. So like I guess once we get up here from like 64,923 all the way up to like the 66 region, I'll be getting out of here. Because I mean, honestly, the situation gets really scary at that point. Like we're not really going to know what things look like until we get there. But objectively speaking, like let's go into the big time frames here, guys, because like if you go on the big time frames, first of all, the weekly, it's not like the weekly blue waves are over the 60 line and it's in pump mode. It's not in pump, dumb pump, retard bull. It's not bull-tard mode. We're just in like consolidation levels of momentum. It's weak momentum down here. And so there's not going to be any sort of like Jesus take the wheel type of longs going on, not until these blue waves on the weekly come back over the 60 line and come up for us. And on top of that, the monthly still looks like crap. The monthly's gotten the monthly's actually only gotten worse since it's continued to fester. If the monthly loses the 60 line, that's really bad. So while I do believe that there's like I'm banking on this major short squeeze, I guess you could call it. After this, like this is pretty much a textbook area where if the bearish monthly plays out, like it would play out at this level, and it could happen very violently and be really messed up. So I've imagined scenarios where Bitcoin loses its year-to-date VWAP. We really don't want to lose this purple line of support. I mean, this is holding us up during this entire range here and here. And so if this continues to just kind of go sideways and Bitcoin just slumps over and we lose the year-to-date, well, then that may signal like a multi-month downtrend, or just like a time where we're just like under the 2024 year to date, just kind of like not having a good time down there, man. You know, like we could come up one more time, right, and then like slump down, and now we find some support, perhaps like down here at like Q4 of 2023, like Q4 of last year or something. Like maybe we could find some support on that. But then you're under the year-to-date VWAP, right? And so now you're in a bearish trend with like a major bearish confirmation. Like you're under the year-to-date, and so it could go down even lower. You could go down potentially down to like this more lifetime VWAP kind of support down here. Like these VWAPs here, these blue VWAPs, this is really interesting shit. Like what this is this is the, let's see here. Is that my 2023 year to date? Let's slap this on. Let's get a year to date for 2023. Okay, so this right here is last year's year to date. And then this is just like some COVID bottom shit back here. But as you guys can see, like if 2024's uptrend, if our 2024 VWAPs fail to push us upward and act as meaningful support, then we will fall down to lifetime support. Basically, like 2024's averages aren't holding us up anymore, right? So we fall back to where we're safe, which would be these lifetime VWAP supports in the low 40s. And Geo would be laughing at everybody, and Geo would be like, Geo would be laughing at all of us. I would be super jacked doing a bunch of push-ups. And I mean, I guess it would be good for me, man, because it's more time to learn how to teach you guys better. It's more time doing push-ups, getting stronger. And it's ultimately it's more time for the common man to get into Bitcoin. Like if you remember how crypto Twitter was acting back here in March, the arrogance, like the greed, like the telling retail to go screw themselves because, oh, we have institutions now, like we don't need you guys anymore. And just overall just being unbearable human beings who like don't deserve the wealth they made on this massive run up. It's like not really a surprise psychologically why we've been sideways for the last like the whole like all of quarter two. And if we did come down, it would be like a much needed opportunity for the average person. So that's my take on that. Down is not bad. We're traders, right? Like at points in Bitcoin's history, like I'm definitely evangelistic. You guys have seen that, you know. But when shit gets sideways, when shit's weird, when your monthly chart looks like this, you guys got to remember that like we are traders and we just want volatility. Down is good, up is good. Like every month there's gaps in the market that we take advantage of. One great thing about like these USDT perpetual swaps on Bybit is like my capital is tethered up and protected, right? Like I'm not just holding a bunch of cryptos hoping shit goes up. I'm in control of my money, and like I'm operating off of a tether amount. So I've definitely changed my angle in the last couple months. Like I'm not evangelistic and I'm not like holding. That being said, when Bitcoin starts going up, I'm going to be leveraging and longing that shit, right? But if Bitcoin starts going down, then I need to be taking advantage of that. It's like my duty as a Market Cipher teacher to take the more difficult, more rewarding path through this shit, if that makes sense. So it would be a cop-out if I just said, oh, DCA or, you know, oh, just hold on to your coins or whatever, you know, like we need to learn how to trade. We need to learn how to appreciate markets coming down. There's good in markets coming down. It's opportunity. Equilibrium. Good comment. Chase Hughes said, what did I miss? We bouncing off year-to-date VWAPs. Yes, bro. We did bounce off the year-to-date VWAP. And we got a nice little pump up going into the July 1st anchored VWAP. We got a brand new fresh anchored VWAP placed here on July 1. And the first thing that I believe we want to do in July is come up to the June anchor. So I think we've got another about 5% left on these pumps. Even if we came back down to the year-to-date first and then went up there, I'm not really sure. Because right now we're dealing with the poop line as some major resistance right now. The poop line is our year-to-date low anchored VWAP, a VWAP place at the lowest price point of the year. And so we're snagged on this poop line, but I would say that, not financial advice, but if you're late to this, if you just wait for traction to be built on top of the poop line, currently at 63,227, then all of a sudden it starts looking like clear skies and a major play up to that June anchor up at 66,132. But I would probably start exiting at any one of these other anchors over here, like 65. Once we get into the 65s, I'd be getting out for sure. The Aaron says, FG, do you think BTC is going to fill the CME gap? Man, I love CME gaps and I love placing VWAPs on gaps. I haven't even checked the gap. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so this is a very beautiful gap right here. Now, we don't have to go down there yet, but this is telling. This is damning, right? Like, because any bullishness that we see from this point, it's like, is this AI generated? Like, is this fake? And we're going to have to come down to this gap one time eventually. The line that you want to watch to see if that happens is you just place a VWAP. I guess I'll go to the hourly and like just place a VWAP here on this line or on this candle after the gap. And as long as we are over this VWAP, we're okay. But if we're under it, then the odds of us filling that gap are quite high. And it doesn't have to fill it completely. You could just get like a 618 retracement in there. So it doesn't have to go all the way down there, but as long as it punctures in there, like it would be considered filled. And one way to measure if we are going to go down there is to just slap an anchored VWAP on the next candle after the gap and just watch that trend. This is a little precarious because it's not really strongly trending on top of it. It's like simply acting as a steady guide. So in my opinion, we really need to come over this yellow VWAP line here relatively soon. Build some traction on the poop line and continue up. Otherwise, in the medium term, we may have to come down and fill that gap before we make the play up to the 65K, 66 region. I definitely think it is a possibility, man. Like that's really close. You know, like we're really close to that still. And that's why I took profits. I closed 10% of I had a big position. I saw a lot of profits on the screen. I probably should have closed more. I probably should have closed like 25% of my trade. But I only closed 10. So I think it's good to like close some of your position, like as the trade is in your favor, you take some profit, and that gives you a lot more wiggle room. Like it could dump harder against you, and like the loss, the worst case scenario is like still within your risk parameters because you already made some money in that trade. It's paying your funding rates. So taking profits is always good. Digital Asset Degen says FG is sassy. I'm feeling a little sassy today, man, for sure, man. Yes, sir. If you guys are trying to learn how to trade still, first of all, you've come to the right place. But if you want to get Market Cipher, make sure you use code Lightning. Actually, no. Use code Platinum. It's 25% off right now. Unleash hell on your trades. 25% off. You could get the 1-year plan or the lifetime plan. We've got tutorials. We've got a risk calculator. I was just in here on this risk calculator, like planning my position. So I was like thinking, like I have like 100 grand in the trading account, and I entered all of it into the trade. So I'm like kamikazeing. My position size is kamikaze because who knows what could happen. But either way, like I'm just cranking up the risk because and also like it's not all of my capital. So I guess you could consider like my total capital, most of my capital is still off exchange, but like everything on the exchange I'm entering into the position. So it's a little bit kamikaze, but overall my overall situation's fine. And then the risk, what was the risk? 1%. Yeah, I mean, so I didn't have a stop loss on this trade, but if I would have seen my losses get to like 1,000, I would have pulled out of the trade. Like I'm keeping it tight, you know what I mean? And if the trade goes in my favor and hits my target, I'm gonna be up like 20 grand. So it's like you're risking 1,000 for like 20 grand. So I mean, that's like a really lopsided risk profile for me. And that just comes with being patient, waiting for the real good, high quality plays. Like you got that June anchor, right? It just makes sense that, see this area right here that's like formed? The price wants to fill this, right? And so this is kind of what I'm thinking. Like it's gonna undulate. You know, maybe we come down a little bit, but it's not gonna go down that hard. Like, see, like we could fill that gap easy. Like we come down, fill the gap, but overall it still continues up, and this whole area down here gets filled. This happened with the May anchor as well. So if you place this on May, you see this like area in here that like it opens up, like the price action forms this gap with the VWAP, and eventually there's a reckoning. Eventually it comes back down and closes that area. Manbear Pig says close my long shorting here. 58's coming. Yeah, man. I'm curious what signs that you see. I mean, I do see that like we're in a momentum desert to the upside here on like the 4 hour. It's definitely still concerning, but you know, I took some profits, so if I got a round trip the rest of it back, like I'm not too stressed about that. Overall, I'm still highly confident that we eventually do come up to this June anchor here, even if we do have to form like another bottom or something. It just kind of seems like inevitable that at some point this year, or at some point this month, we come up here and we have like a major short squeeze. The gap is like definitely short-term concerning. The level we're at currently was a great place to take profits, that is for sure. But yeah, man, good luck in the short. Definitely see, I mean, the gap is definitely enticing, man. You got the poop line. Man, I think I deleted all my VWAPs, bro. Can I like let's see if I can redo this. There we go. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, this poop line is dubious. Super dubious. Verified Trader, what's up, man? Good to have you guys in. Looking like on the 6 hour, getting a red dot here on this wave underneath the poop line. Little bit concerning, man. Little bit concerning. But I mean, the long I'm in is a swing long. This is not a scalp that I'm in. This is something that I told myself I'd be down to hold this long for a week or 2 weeks, or like however long it takes, man. So it's like super low leverage. It's like 3x. It would have to dump down to like 30 something thousand for me to get liquidated. So it's like, it's a very safe play. And I've already taken some profits, and I'm in the green. So typically, like when you have an idea and it goes in your favor, the odds are that the market's going to continue to move in your favor. Like when you have one winning idea, it tends to keep playing out. So the fact that I entered and it went up, you know, I'm just sitting pretty right now, so I'm chilling. $3x is super safe. 3x is really safe, man. I could have 10x and just been like $1 million Bitcoin long. That would have been nuts, bro. Or I could have entered a Pepe trade and like gotten a bunch of volatility there too. Man Bear Pig says, I had 200K at a 60K entry and made 10K. So taking that money and running was my thought, thinking, what if the gains get wiped? Yeah, man, I saw about 10K on my screen as well, and so I was like, it is profit taking time, but I only took 1,000 profit. Like, I only closed 10% of the, not even 10% of the position. So I was thinking like, I'm gonna stick to my guns that we are moving up, but if I reduce the position by 10%, then that gives me a little more wiggle room. It's like basically like I could have a wider stop loss, right? Or I could re-enter lower. You know, it's like there's a lot. You get options when you start taking profits. Now, I chose to just go hard on a Bitcoin trade because that's what I've been trading and I'm comfortable with it. And I just want to see more evidence of my strategy playing out on other charts before I start going hard on it. And so, like, objectively, I probably should have I shouldn't have gone all in a Bitcoin trade. I probably should have pieced it up into like a Pepe trade, an ETH trade, a Solana trade, all these things. But it doesn't really matter, you know. It's like as long as you're trading a chart that you're familiar with in terms of the volatility, how much leverage you are using, all those things, it really doesn't matter. You could trade Bitcoin with higher leverage or Pepe with lower leverage. It's all the same shit. But you can see ETH, like see how ETH has already come up to its June anchor here. Almost. It's like already starting there. Basically like pumps up like rate going into July 1st. We like already pumped there. So I'm not really sure what Ethereum's going to do from this point. Is this the leapfrog played out? Or is ETH going to continue up? I'm not really sure. From an anchored VWAP standpoint, the trade seems a little uncertain on ETH, so I was like, I don't really want to touch that. Now when I look at Solana, let's see how Solana interacted with that June anchor. Solana was leading the market actually like a couple days prior to July 1st. So we're anticipating that leapfrog play happening. But you see how Solana basically like already pumped up and filled up to that June anchor, the previous month's anchor, before July 1st. And so I missed the opportunity on Solana. Like I didn't long Solana, and it pumped up to like my target like a week before I thought it was gonna. So there wasn't really much of a trade here back up to this VWAP, but it is. I like how Solana is building some traction on it, and it could go up. It could bounce off this. I guess if you put VWAPs like on these highs, you can see that there's a little bit more room to the upside on Solana here. We could come up to as high as like 158. So yeah, Solana's looking like maybe there's a little more juice, but I was specifically looking for plays back to the June 1st AVWAP, and Bitcoin just seemed like the best bet. So yeah, I'm just banking on us coming back up to this blue line at some point, 66,126.5. Jay says Solana question mark. Yeah, man, we call my brother calls Solana Solano, and Sami, the famous shitcoin guy who's like into Pulse Chain and Hex, like he calls it Solana. I like Solana, dude. I call it Solana. But yeah, my brother calls it Solano, which sounds like a type of pepper or like pizza topping or something. So looking at Pepe, man, let's see what happened with Pepe. I think Pepe also had this like run up to its June anchor like prematurely. So we'll slap an anchor on the 1st of June. And you can see that, I mean, look at this amazing area that opens up underneath that June anchor and eventually gets filled. And like, this is crazy volatility. Like you catch that move, that's a 30% pump. That's ridiculous, man. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of coins just did this leapfrog strategy earlier than I anticipated, and so it kind of ousted them from a potential swing long in my mind. So I had to just settle with a big fat Bitcoin trade. Gazgano, thank you for modding, bro. Thank you. If you guys follow my Twitter and Instagram, I would be very appreciative. So my brother shouted me out on Twitter, and that was really nice of him, man. I gained like 150 followers. Dang, holy shit. I gained like 200 and something followers like the last like 2 days because my brother shouted me out. So that was awesome. He just said something really nice. I didn't win a bet or anything. He just I just told him about my long trade, and like he was happy for me, and like he just wrote this, so that was nice of him, man. He didn't have to do that shit. But either way, if you follow my Twitter, I post TA with like without even having to join my VIP. I'll post ideas. Like, see here, I posted an idea. Like after knife catching for weeks, crypto world's on full-on panic mode at the year-to-date major long play at the start of July. And so I posted that on June 24th, and here I am today in the long. So I don't say everything, right? I save a little bit for my VIPs, but yeah, Twitter is like a fun platform to like, I don't know, it's just cool, man. And then the Instagram, if you guys follow my Instagram, NickCipher Instagram, and I post 100 push-ups a day, and I pretty much run the entire Instagram game for Market Cipher. So like I run my brother's Instagram, the Market Cipher Instagram, and mine, and I'm just on Instagram all the time. Even though I don't even like social media, like I just have to be on it all the time because that's what you have to do these days. But yeah, do you guys have any questions for me before I head out? Just wanted to update you guys on my fatty trade here. This is the trade. If you guys want to get under me on Bybit, my Bybit affiliate is in the YouTube description. You could shoot me an email too, and I could schedule to get you in my VIP. We could do a consultation, whatever you guys want. If you guys want to get caught up to speed, and like I could pretty much just teach someone everything I learned in the last 6 months within like an hour at this point. Like I've got it all boiled down and codified. So if you want to do a one-on-one with me, like I'm down to get you up to speed, as long as you wet my beak. And I do promise to make like some videos explaining like my plan for July, my plans for Q3, and just like how I've been trading, and like just hammering home this VWAP strategy shit like even harder. Like I need to put out some more videos on it. Rye Guy's a Fly Guy asked a question. He says, do you think if the S&P goes down, it will pull crypto down with it? Honestly, So the S&P and Bitcoin have been behaving differently. Not going to lie, man. They don't always act in unison, but let's see how the S&P's looking. Little bit iffy, but you know, honestly, the S&P is not like super convincingly bearish. It's just like pretty bearish. Like the money flow on the 12-hour, like leaking out. Got some red dots on these like macro, like multi-day blue waves. But also like there's no like very obvious bear divs where it's just like, duh, that's a bear div. It's kind of like weird looking. But you know, if the stock market does dump, that is a bearish environment for cryptos. Doesn't mean cryptos have to dump with them, but it is a bearish environment for cryptos. Like it, and also if you look at the overall situation of crypto and Bitcoin, we've got a very bearish monthly momentum wave here. So if anything bad did happen, it's like we know why. It's because we're losing runaway train status on Bitcoin's monthly. Like as long as we're over the 60 line here, there is the potential for like knives to the upside. There is the potential for things to turn around and us to like stay in this like super elevated momentum state. It's like a train going super fast. It has to hit like multiple barriers before it actually slows down. But if this monthly, like after a month or two, slips under the 60 line, that's very concerning, you know? So yeah, man. If the crypto markets took a hit, we would know why, man. The monthly's been sketchy for a while, and that represents a good opportunity for us to short, right? Like there's like lifetime VWAPs giving us some solid support at 40k. If we did have to collapse down there, first it would be egg in the face of crypto Twitter, which is actually good. Like we want that. So imagine we like dump down there. Just imagine something like this were to happen. This would be like horrendous, bro. Egg in the faces of lots of people. But I mean, look what the markets did over here. Like the markets held like this crazy large range, you know? And so, you know, we would have a range about that size, and you would actually have the basis for a cup and handle. See, the market goes up, you have a cup and then a handle right there. So I guess that would stall out the bull run until next year. But ultimately it would be quite a healthy move for like the macro chart. Like, I mean, this is just chicken scratch, but you guys can see how you've basically got like a head and shoulder. See, like the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So you've got like an inverted head and shoulders, which is usually like a reversal off of a bottom. But I would say this is more like a cup and handle. Like if like, because the market's going up, we cup, we handle, and then we could go up higher. That's what I'm anticipating. If we lose the 2024 averages, we lose the year, like the 2024 year to date, we just like all of a sudden flip bearish and shit, and this monthly wave was like right all along. We got to be like prepared mentally for that type of scenario. So yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, we're just catching this, what could be like a short squeeze, you know, just a run up to that June anchor, clean out the shorts, clean out the doubters, get crypto YouTube and crypto Twitter frothing at the mouth again, and then that monthly plays out and shit gets real ugly, man. Shit could get real ugly on us. But that's what we want to see, man. We want to see the weak hands get wrecked. We want to see the bad traders and the gamblers get screwed. We want to see cheaper is good. If anywhere else in life, if you see cheaper prices, that's a good thing. And so it's a testament to our greed when we want markets to only go up. Zed Carmoot says, what do you think of the one-day money flow on ETH? Is it bearish or bullish? Let's check out ETH real quick. Honestly, man, it's not convincing. It's just thin, bro. It's thin. It's not convincing either way for a trade. Like, the money flow on this time frame is not a deciding factor for a trade on the daily, at least on the daily chart. ETH's money flow is thin, and so if you want to enter a trade based off of a money flow idea, you want big waves. You want these bigger waves, like see this big red wave down here. You can see like there's clearly a macro divergence playing out here where the price is going lower and the wave is thick and trending to the upside. It even gives you like an idea of duration. Like, if a money flow wave isn't giving you an idea of time duration, then it's like not really justifying a trade for you. Like, see this uptrend in red money flow. By the time you get to this point right here, this is telling you right from this point right here that Ethereum's going to start pumping all the way until this white line hits the zero line. So like that was back in October of 23. This is telling you that we're going to pump until the rest of the year, basically. And as soon as like we get to a point where we're hitting that zero line with the white line, you go up in price, and that was a really nice level to take profits at. It wasn't the absolute top, but it pretty much got you out like before things started getting hairy. You can even see like a justification for a short. You see that money flow wave trending down back here. You see the price coming up, right? And that called a pretty sizable dump, and you would have anticipated that the dumpage would have continued until around middle of February, right? And so once this lit line hits zero, like the bearishness of this declining green money flow wave dies out, and you do see that money flow picking back up and the market roaring back there. So yeah, man, a thin money flow like this is just it's nothing to me. It's like not justifying a trade. But yeah, man, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this trade. If I take any profits on Bitcoin, I'll let you know. Things that we were talking about during the stream. There's a gap. We go to the futures chart. There's a very sizable gap. So if you're concerned about that gap, or if you're trying to short and bet on us going down there, I would slap an anchored VWAP on this candle after the gap and wait for us to kind of like start trending underneath the intraday and that VWAP, and your odds of going down there are a lot higher. But I'm just gonna stay in my long and make that play up to the June anchor. That's where I'm at currently. So you guys have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. I'm back, and check out the empowertraders.com Mike Perry special limited time merch. And yeah, it's good to be back.